Alright, so today we're in happy, cool anime land. See if we like it. So there's been a lot of times in my life where I have asked myself the question, like either seriously or just out of exasperation, like what am I doing with my life? I think it's a hard question to answer. Like, and sometimes you just feel like so overwhelmed with everything that you're just like, bro, what am I doing? I was thinking about this and 6 jobs, my young little life, and pretty much every single one of them over like maybe the first like 6 months to a year, like I noticed there's been like this, like the same pattern of what happens in like my attitude towards the work. And I just gradually slip out of like trying to people please like my manager or the boss into this like who gives a shit attitude. It usually goes like this. So I start the job and I'm like, I'm eager. Like I want to do well, you know, I'm like trying to learn everything and I want to like fit in and learn the things that I have to do and be able to do them well. Like I have that natural, like people pleasing, like teacher's pet attitude. Usually I want to like make money. I'm excited to like make more money than whatever I was making before. And I don't know, buy cool shit. And I learn the job. It's like, it's usually hard at first. Like there's some easy parts, some hard parts, but it's usually like kind of stressful. I'm usually like, I make mistakes, you know, like people tell me like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you should do it this way. And I'm just like getting used to the job, like figuring out like how things go, what I should do. You know, it's like a natural part of like any new thing. In stage three, I've figured out how the job goes. I'm like kind of chilling. I've maybe made some friends at work, and most days I'm not like actively stressed about like what I have to do. And then after this part, now that I'm like no longer motivated by just like trying to survive and like the stress of like learning a new thing and trying to do my job well, I like gradually subconsciously transition into like doing less and less. Like during the like my shift or during the workday, I spend as much time as possible not doing work, especially like in the jobs where, like in the software jobs I've had, where like I'm just at a computer, or even like if I'm at home and I'm like playing games, you know, I'm like watching YouTube videos, I'm just not working. As much time as possible not working, and as little time as possible doing the like one or two things that I like technically have to do to make some progress. Like if I don't do anything at all, or if I don't like report some movement on these like one or two like lever moving tasks, then like my boss will notice, right? Like like they'll call me out. And even that stuff, like I drag out. Like it takes way longer than it would if I was motivated normally. Like if I gave a shit about getting it done, it would be a lot quicker. Like when I think about that, I think maybe part of it is about not being challenged enough at work. And I think that's like partially true. Like some people might say, oh, you need more challenge in your work. Like you've learned to do things and now you need to like exceed the scope of your role, or like pick up new opportunities, or like whatever they say, you know, like try and get promoted, like dress for the job you want or whatever. It's like partially true. Like if I was still being challenged to learn new stuff, like yeah, like I might still feel that stress of trying to do well and trying to learn. And it might keep me in that like survival mode of like running from the stress from my boss back there longer. But I have done that at a couple of the jobs where like I've gotten to this phase where I don't give a shit, and then I've like tried to learn something new, and like it kind of helps to learn something new, but it kind of doesn't, because I'm trying to learn something new, but I also like I still don't give a shit. Like that doesn't, for some reason, that doesn't go away for me. At least it hasn't in the past. And I realized like, of course, like even if I could make it last, like that survival mode, like running from stress, that's not where I want to be. It's not how I want to live my life. That's not what I want to be motivated by. Like I want to be motivated by work that means something to me. Like it aligns with my values or my interests. I think a lot of people want that. I mean, you don't have to want it. You can, it's totally fine to just have a job that's just a job and you live the rest of your life outside of that. I feel like that's 100% valid. But for me, like, I'm not able to separate it that well. I feel like I want work that's also meaningful in and of itself. And so when I noticed that it's basically just, it's only this people pleasing stress response that like is keeping me functioning at all these jobs, every single one of these jobs, it made me feel like, I don't know, like every single one, like it made me feel like this doesn't fit me. You know, like this industry isn't for me or this work isn't for me. I struggled with that restless feeling for years. Felt like just this lack of purpose. Felt like I had to figure out like what the hell am I doing? What do I do with my life? But I didn't even know what I want. I still don't know what I want. I only know what I'm interested in right now. I was just trying to figure out like, okay, what work am I going to be satisfied with? Like there's got to be a career out there or something that I can do that like brings me this satisfaction on a daily level where I'm not like scared, dreading going to work and like living for the weekend. So I read a bunch of books and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, consumed a bunch of content about this, trying to answer that question. And there's a lot of material that's already been written about this. Like you could just look up on Amazon life purpose and there's hundreds of books. Like the purpose driven life or awakening your life's purpose. I'm not trying to call any of these people out, but I'm trying to illustrate the effortless path to discovering your destiny, God's purpose for your life, discovering a life filled with purpose and joy, creating a life that matters, the secrets to find your passion, my little Ikigai journal. Like this is, I'm not trying to make fun of these people or call these people out. Like they're trying to answer this question, right? Like everybody is. They're trying to help people. That's good. And I think like life purpose or what you want to do with your life is such a common and accepted concept in our society that people don't even realize what question they're trying to answer when they're looking for that, when they're looking for purpose. I didn't. I just assumed that I had to figure out what to do with my life. Like, dude, I'm just out here. I'm doing my best. I'm living. I'm trying not to feel so much existential dread on Sunday evenings, the Sunday scaries. So, like, even if our lives don't naturally have a purpose, we can create that purpose. We just have to find the path that is like the Ikigai thing. If you've ever looked that up before or read about it, it's like a path that aligns with your passions, your talents, like things you're good at, what the world needs, like what you can help people with, and what you can get paid for. Thanks, capitalism. That's like the narrative, right? Like for finding your purpose. I think actually purpose is not real. Like the question isn't really, how do I create a life filled with purpose? Or what's my reason for living? The fundamental question behind all those books is, what should I spend my time doing to feel happy? Or if you think about it like the opposite way, how can I avoid this feeling of deep dissatisfaction in my daily activities? And I think trying to answer that question is like, of course, naturally going to be like a long, frustrating process. Because essentially what you're trying to do is trying to avoid feeling discontent. And the solution that society gives you for that, for avoiding those negative feelings, is just like pick a career. Just like think long and hard about what you want to do, what you like, what like little hobbies you've enjoyed in the past, you know, like try a few things, get an internship, maybe go back to school, get some student loan debt in there, and you'll find it. Like you will find the life that you were born to live. And the first problem with that, I think, is you can't avoid negative feelings. Just, it's part of being human, and that's okay. It's like something we have to come to terms with, to be at peace with. The other problem with trying to answer that question with finding your one true purpose, is that like life purpose I don't think that exists. It's not a real thing. Like that word purpose is something that we invented that doesn't actually exist. Like there's some other words like that, like Monday and evil, the future, unicorns, goblins. So purpose means that something has utility, like it has a use. And maybe it was like created for that use, like it was created to do some certain task or like fulfill a certain role. But your life is not like that. Your life doesn't have a utility. You weren't born in order to be the president of Clorox, cashier at Carl's Jr. Like you're not even alive in order to invent a cure for cancer or like play an instrument or lead a social revolution or help your parents like live comfortably and retire. You're just alive. You're just alive right now. Thankfully, we're just here experiencing like all this shit, all the wonderful, nice things, all the miserable, hard things. So your life doesn't have to have a goal to have value. And actually, I think it doesn't have a goal, and it already has immense intrinsic value. So okay, then what? What do we do if we don't have a goal? And I think you can still have goals in your life. The goals can be really helpful. I have goals. I write them down. I look at them like every day pretty much. But like the good news is you're free to choose a new goal at any time. You can choose a new purpose, like whenever you feel like it. Whenever it suits you, you can choose to pursue something different than you were before. When you get bored, you feel it's time for a change. You're allowed to do that. That's the way that I'm trying to live now. I'm trying to just like pursue my interests as they come up, as like I get more interested in them, as I get less interested and move on to something else, or just chill and just pursue different things when my passions change, like as they always have, and I assume like they always will. I think like for a lot of people, like that one passion, it actually is like that's their thing. That's what drives them. Like they vibe with that, like choosing one vocation, one passion for life. And that's okay too. That's 100% okay. I think that is a path that's like well lit, well marked by society and like well supported. And I think people who find fulfillment on like walking that path are lucky, are blessed. That's a great thing. But like for other people, that narrative like doesn't fit. It doesn't always fit. I used to be so frustrated that I couldn't stick to one thing. Like I could never just pick something to focus on for a while. I couldn't like find my passion. Like even things that I've been passionate about for long durations of my life, I'm not like consistently passionate about them. Like usually my interest, like it comes and goes. But like I begun to realize that like this is a valid way to live. It's okay. It's okay for your mind to change. It's okay for your interests to change, and like for your purpose to change. And like now that I've accepted that, like I've given myself permission to be the way I am, like for me, that's like, it's a way more fulfilling, vibrant, interesting, satisfying way to live. Like pursuing my interests as they come up and like feeling free to move from idea to idea, from passion to passion, hobby to hobby, job to job. The other good news is that there's a process to like achieve that mindset shift, and like figure out what to do with your life. So step 1, try stuff that interests you and see how you like it. Step 2, if and when you feel like moving on from something, give yourself the permission to do that. You can change what you're doing. Step 3, repeat that. Just keep doing that. Like it's all good. Maybe you'll find something that you want to stick with for a long time. Maybe you'll just keep moving through things. Maybe there's going to be things in the middle that like you focus on for a while. That's like totally cool. And that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for being here, for watching. If this gave you any clarity or insight or just food for thought, And if you know somebody else that it might help, please share with them. And if you don't know anybody, that's okay. Neither do I. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.